Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to the reserve program as we prepare ourselves to take on one of the most historic tracks in the world. It is going to be the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, one of the most historic tracks in the world, and it is a track that has been around since 1921 in a very different layout compared to what we are running here today, but it's going to be a fun time here as we prepare for the final specialty weekend of the season. My name is Patrick Coleman, aka Ruckus, and alongside me here today, we have Phoenix. How you doing tonight, mate?
I am doing very well. I'm excited for Spa, not Spain. I promise I'll get it correct tonight. Well, hopefully. But this track is, even though it's only 22 laps of racing, it is the longest track on the F1 calendar. So each lap's going to take, I want to say, a minute 40, depending on your pace, a minute 50, depending on obviously your race pace.
Yeah, a minute 40 is a good shout when it comes to just race pace. But there's one thing that everybody will pretty much need to really know is that this track has the longest outlap out of any track on the calendar, considering the fact that, like Phoenix said, it is the longest track on the Formula One calendar. It is a whopping 7.004 kilometers long, 4.352 miles around this historic venue, and it used to be even longer back in the day. When the circuit first opened in 1921, it was actually closer in like size to Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe over in France, which I think that track's about 14 kilometers if my memory serves me correctly. The original Spa circuit itself was just shy of 15 kilometers. So we're talking about distance here. And what that goes to show is that you pretty much just need to get your timing absolutely perfect when it comes to these outlaps if you want to get a good qualifier in.
Yeah, because you need to leave enough time for like your final run. If you cut it too fine, you won't physically be able to make it around the track in time. You need to, I think, budget more time than you expect around here.
Yeah, give yourself a bit of freedom is going to be the name of the game when it comes to qualifying. Now, in terms of some other characteristics of the track, tire degradation is, at least in my experience, it's not too bad really. It's about medium, I would say. It's not the easiest track on tires, but it is far from Spain, Qatar, and Silverstone to some extent. So it should be a really fun one here, as Limbo does actually already invalidate. Gods of the Sun is actually already retired. Normally that would be due to a quality ban, but it's a reserve program. We don't have quality bans as far as I know. So curious on what happens there. Actually, we've lost both McLarens. We have lost Goats for Life. Sorry, Goats for Life actually jumped into the Haas. So we lost Goats for Life. I'll have to try to get them back in ASAP as Limbo goes ahead and sees how low can they go when it comes to their
Um,
lap times, and they're gonna make their way
God's
through.
Father Son
Good.
actually does have a quali ban. I
Huh.
just pulled up the verdicts and he does have a quali ban. And I think that has to be served in the div quote. So I think he had to race and do a quali ban.
Huh. Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. Another reserve program is usually kind of just that. It's a good chance for some drivers to really, well, first, some for new drivers to really kind of qualify for Rush to see what kind of where they are in divisional placements. As that was a Williams I saw parked on the side there. As we watched the Visa Cash App Racing Bull of Limbo make his way through the Spa Francorchamps circuit. And I want to hear from you guys in the Twitch chat. How do you guys feel about the new V carb livery that was just shown off for Miami. I'll let you take it away, Phoenix.
Yeah, I do like that livery. It's much better than Alpine's quote unquote special livery, where they've just dumped the yellow stripe on it and basically called it a day. But quite a few cars have come out with the nice liveries. I'm also not quite sure what to think of the Mercedes race suits, though.
I feel like the Mercedes race suits would be a much better prospect if they actually put a livery with it, like what they did in Suzuka. We're seeing sometimes come in now. Speaking of Alpine a bit earlier on, Jay Z sets the benchmark of a 144.171. So that is the benchmark to beat as of right now. Symphonic says, forget about that. I'm going to put in a 142.642 for the driver in the Ferrari tonight. As Crutter's going to make his way across the line. And him and the Alpine behind will slot in pretty much right next to each other. So I like the V-Garb livery. It is the first yellow livery since 2020, back when Renault was still racing in Formula One before they became Alpine. So I like it. I like seeing yellow on the. I like seeing yellow on the grid. I wish it would come back. I was actually hoping the Cadillac would be yellow before they revealed their first livery and all their branding and such. Kind of based on their World Endurance Championship contender. But overall, VCarb, another very nice livery. Can't wait to see it in game whenever the 2026 DLC drops.
Yeah. And now the benchmark for P1 at the moment is a 141.369 by the other racing bull of Minjor.
A little bit of a snap there from NinVM as he comes across the line. He gets into P7, so it's P6 and 7 for the Williams right now. It was gonna get brought up at some point. I just decided to just take the hit and run with it. As drivers are now trying to kind of go to rebuild and get ready. The only driver I think is actually pushing right now is Kungbus, the legend himself from Azerbaijan, is making his way through. He's gonna try to close in the gap here to, I believe that's his teammate. It is his teammate here, so they're actually all gonna pile on into the pits. A little bit of a wall tap there, but they are gonna go ahead and make their way into the pits. The Sauber livers look tasty, is what I'm hearing, and yeah, it's the glitched out one, which is oh hello Red Bull. That is Liam, just taking a bit of a spa day in the Belgian sun, as he is now back on to the circuit. I do like the glitched out livery. I have it. It's actually one of the few liveries I actually picked up when I was doing just in some of the events, like some of the special events that they come out with where there's a livery attached to it. I've only done about half of them realistically. The last one I did was the one for the Williams. And to answer the question, yes, it is equal performance here at Rush Racing League. Although a realistic performance division would be fun to do at some point. Uh, don't think that's in the cards as of right now with the very limited insider information that I have. So, but you have some experience, Phoenix, with I think with a realistic performance division.
Yeah, it can get quite interesting, both driving and commentating, because the car doesn't feel the same. Like, you can put your setups on and customize it, but like being a slow driver, I'm dumped in a McLaren and I can't drive because the car's physically too fast for me to control. It's a very interesting experience.
Yeah, so I've heard. I mean, the only experience I have with that is career mode, and even then, I pretty much almost like when I do career mode, it's either Visa Cash App Racing Bulls is the team I drive for, or Apex GP / Countersport. Like it's always one of those two. So I kind of wish we actually could run Apex GP or Counter Sport in league racing. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I mean, we will get an 11th team coming up with Cadillac, so that'll be it'll be fun. I'm curious to see how many wins Cadillac can get in a league racing format, considering equal performance. Aston Martin actually has a chance to score points because the car isn't vibrating itself to pieces. So we'll see. And I mean, just coming back to Spa-Francorchamps, it's a very good track. A lot of drivers like it. Very unpredictable weather, and it's a track that is used for so many different racing categories. MotoGP has used it in the past. I think it's used for motorcycle endurance racing, which it basically Moto WEC is uses this track. I forget what the series is actually called. As Hoffy is now making his way through a lap. World Endurance Championship uses that as well for these 6 hours of Spa. There is a 12 hours and 24 hours of Spa in GT racing. And then, of course, obviously, Formula One uses the track as well. So it's going to be a fun one here tonight. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to the week as well, because it's the last specialty week of the season here, Phoenix.
With 100%, which is I think 44 laps if this race is 22 from memory.
Mm-hmm.
So 44 laps of Spa. Hopefully, it will bring some nice action.
Yeah, because there's a lot of battling locations you can do on this circuit. You can try
Plenty
to
of
go ahead.
plenty of. It's one of the tracks where it's quite wide, except for that first corner, which could bring some complete and utter carnage lap one if they're not careful. As I've seen, and I think all the league races I've ever done or seen for Spa, it's not been a very pretty lap one. But
Yeah,
unlike some other tracks, like let's pick Monaco, overtaking is very limited and it's very tight. But this is a nice wide track with I think two DRS zones and a lot of corners that you can overtake on as well.
yes. You can see some drivers make some dives coming through La Source, which is that very sharp turn one hairpin, and then you can see some really optimistic drivers try to get the moves done in between a Rouge and Radion, and then Kemmel Straight. Obviously, he's got some really good overtaking spots just before Les Combs. So, I mean, lots of good overtaking. It's a track that a lot of people really like. As Zombie actually improves quite a bit. He is less than a tenth away from M John's time, which is still that one, or which is that 141.369. And I mean, you can get some good moves done too as well, from Stavelot all the way just through that run coming up into the bus stop chicane. So you can get some good moves done there. No DRS zone there, but there'll probably be a straight mode there, I would imagine, when F1 comes there in the year of 2026, before it gets put into its weird rotation scheme that they got going on, where Spain and Spa are set to rotate. I know Phoenix and I were joking about that a bit earlier on, about Spain and Spa, and oh, what is happening here? I think I just witnessed an end plate in the, or actually a good chunk of a wing flying off as Liam is jumping into the rally portion of the track. And Cloud gets a 5 place grid penalty for a collision with Illyrian. So Illyrian didn't retire just because he didn't feel like he can improve. He actually just got straight taken out.
Oof. Ouchie. Oh, I was about to say, what is one of the Williams doing? And then I realized I think it's an in lap because they went straight through a chicane. It scared me for a minute because I'm like, why are you going straight through a chicane? you go around through it. But no, if you're not on a lap, you just straight line the chicane. You get back quicker.
Which I think is actually a penalty. Um, in divisional races, I think that actually does come across as a pen,
Um,
or at least something very
there
frowned
are
upon.
tickets in Russia. There are tickets in the reserve program. They are unfortunately the system's not set up the best, but that's how God's Father Son's got a quali ban because you can do tickets in the reserve program.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, for some people may think it's kind of weird because reserve program, no points on the line, mostly just for people to either get experience or get practice. Really is kind of the main thing with the reserve program events. But yeah, it does make sense. There's a lot of new drivers that jump in here, or drivers trying to get qualified for OCE, even OC veterans who are just jumping back into OCE. They have to go back through the reserve program. Like Illyrian actually is a good example of that. He is a veteran driver. He's been here before I've been here, and he's having to go through the reserve program again because it's been a minute since he's actually raced in OCE officially. So trying to get some preparations done for next season, which is only a couple of weeks away. We only got about a month left of season 10, which should be a interesting one. All right, so Phoenix, a lot of drivers on an out lap. You want to take this lap with Limbo?
What car?
It's the V Carb and P19.
Oh, okay. Coming through corners. My track map has been. Now, I think coming down the straight, not burning any battery, quite low on that at this stage. Going into corner 5 nicely, rides the curb, keeps it out of the gravel, which is always very nice. Coming into this sort of corner, which leads to a very steep corner that seems to go on forever when you're actually driving it. Coming through corner 9. Coming downhill, this corner is deceptively simple, but does it nicely, rides the inside curb and keeps it off the grass. Coming into corners 12 and 13, rides the curb, goes into the gravel, so that won't be a nice lap there from Limbo. As that is one of the spots where if you swing slightly too wide or cut it at the wrong spot, you do end up in the gravel. But now coming up to the chicane, oh, it's a bit wide, and coming into chicane nicely, or cuts that chicane quite deep and does invalidate.
Yeah, so unless a lot of battery can be saved here from Limbo, then that'll be his qualifying. Pretty much done and dusted. Jumping from one V carb.
Oh.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely qualifying done and dusted for that V carb.
Yeah.
Taking one position. Actually, we're gonna jump on board with the. Ooh, that was close. You can't park there, sir.
Accident leading. If that car was on a flying lap, that V Cup would have been in big trouble. Because that's an impede of a hot lap if it was a hot lap, if I've ever seen one.
Now, as Leon makes his way through Spa here, he's going to go ahead and try to see if he can get some good time here. He is currently about 7, almost 8 tenths away from pole position here at the moment as he makes his way through Sector 2, coming through Speaker's Corner, coming down into the double gouge, and he's going to go ahead and just try to find any kind of pace, any kind of time here as he continues to just pursue the best lap time, as now he is making his way coming through Campus and Stevlot corners, and then he's He's got this really fun run as M. John improves to a 1:41.090 on his final lap. And the timer for qualifying is done. And now we are just making our way through the last portion of the circuit, coming through the bus stop chicane. And can Liam improve? He does improve his time. He's up into third. But that is as best or as good as it's going to get for the Red Bull. Zombie, can he rise from the game into P1? Not quite. He will improve his time, but not his position, excuse me. As Kenworth is going to go ahead and try to see if he can improve here. He's going through the bus stop chicane now. A lot of drivers finishing up their laps here in Spa-Francorchamps. Oh, a huge snap there from the Williams. He will not improve. He might have got a little bit too touchy with the paint as Gibson is done. So that is qualifying done and dusted here. And it is a V-Carb on pole position. M. John taking pole here.
Yeah, and now, do you have any bold predictions for this race?
Ooh, bold predictions. That's a tough one.
Putting you on the spot, yeah. Putting you on the spot yet again. Pretty sure I did this in Div 5 as well.
You really have learned a lot from me just with my habit of putting people straight on the spot. I would say that the bold prediction here is that we are going to see a clean turn one, but a little bit of chaos coming through Eau Rouge and Radion, the massive uphill sweeping sector of the track. So taking a look at our qualifying order, it is a V-Carb on top with M. John followed by Zombie, Liam de Leerenberg, as is Kenworth, Illyrian, Symphonic, Fishlips making his return here with RJ Gibson behind. Nin VM, a new driver, jumping in just ahead of the boss man himself, the governor, ahead of Corrupt. And then we have Axed, the winner from Baku. And then it is Crutter, Goats, Jay-Z, Hoff, Cloud, Kungbus, Limo, and God's Eldest Son, who did serve a quali ban. So it's going to be a fun time here, Phoenix, in Spa-Francorchamps. It's a very good track here in the heart of Belgium, in the Ardennes Forest. And the weather, honestly, looks like probably some of the best weather you could have for racing.
Yeah, but I wonder if we will see that change of weather, because I think this track was the high altitude track. Not high altitude, but it has a habit of the weather being unpredictable, because it can start raining out of nowhere. Unless I'm getting my tracks confused, which is honestly quite common for me at this point.
I mean, there's a few tracks on the calendar that do have bipolar weather, with this being one of them. Miami's another track that has bipolar weather. There's quite a few tracks with some really tricky weather, but here we go. We got those 5 red lights on the gantry, and it is lights out, and we're here for Spa Day as we get ready to go here. Oh, and there's already contact. We didn't even make it to La Source. There's already a Williams spun around in turn 1. Lots of end plates and such flying off, and boy, was that bold prediction wrong. We did not make it through the source. Cloud gets a severe collision penalty for colliding with Goats for Life. We did not even make it to Erosion Radion.
Oh, and there's a drive-through penalty, and Clouds gets another 10-second penalty, I think, as well. That was not a very clean start. I was about to say, but I ran out of time. It's like, I don't think we'll get a clean start. That definitely was not a clean start.
Yeah, you could say that one again. What? Okay. I'm just gonna say this. What was that? Oh, and a drive-through for the leader.
There's two drive-through penalties already on lap 1.
So everybody's running on the medium compound to start things off here. 2 drive-throughs, a 10-second, and a 20-second penalty. Yeah, I mean, we could go on the race director and just kind of see exactly what these penalties are for. I'm not gonna do that right now because that would interrupt the stream here. But yeah, that very interesting stuff here happening at the get go. Um, this is gonna
Well,
set us
one
up
of
for
the
a fun week.
well, Axe got a drive-through penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. You've got Minor who got a speeding under safety car drive-through penalty, and Cloud's got a severe collision and a collided with another driver and gained a place. And the other 10 second is ignoring a yellow flag.
Uh, the we love the penalties sometimes. The drivers don't. The drivers absolutely despise them. But here we go. Zombie looking to make a move for the lead as Crowder gets a penalty for track limit violations. That'll give him now 13 seconds of penalties that he will have to go through. And we are already seeing some. I mean, just taking a look back a week to, or 2 weeks ago, actually, to Azerbaijan, right? We had a very chaotic reserve program race. Like, you and I covered that last
Only
time, and
11 DNFs.
yeah, only
Only
11.
11 DNFs out of 20 drivers.
But we saw some chaotic and action-packed races in Baku, and I think we're gonna see the same thing here. It's kind of hard to tell with Canada because with the Canada Reserve Program, it ended up being an Austria race week due to I think a issue with penalties. Like what would normally be like a
There
warning
were
for
a
track
few
limits.
glitches. Was it 10 seconds or drive through penalties? And the game was doing very interesting um, penalties.
Yeah. So with that being said, oh another caution. It's a Williams again. But I mean, where do we even go from here, Phoenix? This has just been such a chaotic run, and we're only 3 laps in.
We've just started the third lap, and we've already got the field massively spread out with some of the cars being over a sector behind. And at this track, the sectors are quite large.
Yeah, you can say that again. I mean, it is a very long track. It's and the fact that it used to be over twice as long as it is now back in the 1920s until I want to say around the 80s is when they actually made this track a bit closer to what it is nowadays. But still, this is a humongous track in comparison to compared to the track preceding or following this track. We go to Monaco the next week, and that's a night race,
Oh,
mind you. So that's a like we're going from the longest track on the calendar to the shortest track on the calendar.
and it also being a night race, it's going to be an interesting few weeks. Well, it's going to be an interesting rest of the season as both a commentator and a steward, because you've got some very interesting tracks coming up.
I wasn't even gonna bring up stewarding because every time I have brought up stewarding, it's been a bit of a curse. There's another yellow flag in sector 3. Liam tried to go ahead and get a move up the inside onto M. John. M. John coming into pits to serve that drive-through penalty. And Spa's got a pretty interesting pit lane as well, because the pit lane itself starts on this side of the circuit, but then you come out near A Rouge and Radion just on the opposite side of La Source. So you take a really sharp corner here before actually rejoining the circuit. And actually, in the endurance layout, you actually get spat out a bit further up the mountain. So yeah, you can see a little bit of that runoff road just to the right of Radion. And that's actually where you would get spat out for the endurance layout of the circuit.
Very interesting pit lane here.
As Crowder gets one on to Corrupt. We're we're seeing some pretty good battles up and down the field. We do have Valerian, who was pretty much right on the gearbox of Liam a few moments ago. But Liam Durienberg still trying to hold on here. Still trying to hold on to that P2 as Zombie is starting to run away with this one a little bit. Valerian, though, still trying to go ahead and try to close in. He will be kind of mixed reaction to know that the Red Bull ahead of him has dropped DRS range from the Papaya machine as they make their way through Sector 3, coming up to the bus stop chicane. Are we going to see a lunge here? Answer's no. Trying to get an overtake done through the bus stop is always risky business. Usually ends up with the end point just getting surgically removed from the front of a car. So usually most people just try to wait to get a good exit out of La Source here and try to make it up Erouge and Radion.
Yeah, as we do find most of the field spread out with only a couple of cars right up the back of the car in front. So already on lap 5, the field is significantly spread out, except for a handful of cars.
That's kind of something we've come to expect, though, with the reserve program, because there's drivers from all 6 of our divisions competing here at the same time.
6.
So,
we have 5 divisions.
There's NA.
Not 6. NA has 2 divisions, so technically 7.
Touche. But I know Illyrian in particular competes in the NA EU divisions. So NA used to be one division. They just added the second one this season. We had 6 last season. We had 6 OC divisions last season. So, in my defense, I'm still stuck in 2025 apparently.
Apparently, it's the end of this season we've had. Anyway.
As we continue on racing here through, we're seeing a little bit of carbon fiber actually getting spat out here as the Venturi tunnels just grind against the floor here at Spa. Downforce is a pretty interesting one here because there's a lot of high-speed sections of racetrack, but there's also a lot of technical portions, particularly that Sector 2 is a pretty technical one, and then you have some really sharp corners like La Source, that turn 1, or as a friend of mine who likes to really over pronunciate that corner, La Source. I still know why he does that. Like, Brad, you're from Ohio, mate. You're not from this region. But
it sounds like the source. He's saying.
It does.
Like when I heard that, I was thinking of condiments.
As Limbo gets, he didn't get low enough. Tags axed a little bit there. With Gods of the Sun really trying to close in the gap here. And we're going to try to see if they can go ahead and make some moves. It's tricky because there's a lot of real estate, but the DRS can be pretty powerful here as well. So if the car in front of you is DRS, good luck! And oh, that's an optimistic move there from Limbo. You gotta give him an A in effort for that one. He just tried to get it through, but just a little too optimistic there in the chicane. So that is a very, very aggressive one there. As it appears that my co-commentator has redeemed an on-board lap. You didn't.
Symphonic, he is just about to go over the. He's just going through the bus stop chicane at the moment.
You can go ahead and take it away.
Oh,
I'm kidding, I got you. So we see Symphonic now getting ready to go through La Source, the very tight turn 1 hairpin. As now he is chasing down Liam de Rienberg. We'll go ahead and throw on the telemetry so we can just kind of see a little bit more information about how he's taking this lap. Coming through Erouge and Radion, coming through Camel onto the Camel straight. He's going to burn a good amount of battery, making his way through, reaching speeds of up to 350 kilometers an hour. and he's going to just tuck in right behind the Red Bull of Liam. Corrupt 3 second time penalty for track limit violations, as it is going to be a we're going to see a little bit of a corner hug there from Liam just ahead of Symphonic. Symphonic now just trying to be an ever-present threat in the mirrors of the Red Bull as they go through the double gauche and trying to wrap up sector 2, getting a good run out here. But look at this. He's getting a really good run here, trying to make the move. Is he going to be able to make this move stick? That's a spot you don't see a lot of moves done there. He got there just before campus. Nicely done. Nicely done there from the Ferrari man as he comes through Stavelot. And he's going to go ahead and continue to race on throughout. He's now going to look ahead to Illyrian, currently in that P2 position, about 3 seconds up the road. I think there's a bit of a brake lock up there from the aforementioned Sauber. And Symphonic is actually going to come into the pit, so some good progress for him, as now he's going to jump onto a set of hard tires for this one.
I have a habit, what's happened a few times, of requesting onboard laps for drivers. They either go into the pits when I request it or finish in the pits. So it's always interesting, as there are only 2 drivers on the hard compound tires. Symphonic, and it votes for life.
All right, I think. You didn't even need to spend points on that,
It was funny.
It
and
was.
You were in the middle of saying my co-commentator, and then I think I butted in and told you Symphonic was about to come over the line.
Good times here in the reserve program. If you guys do want to jump into the reserve programs for any of the races, just let us know. We'll try to get you a Discord link so you can jump in, get signed in, and then we'll go ahead and do what we can to get you guys in. There's only about 4 rounds left of the season, though, so it is a good time to jump in and get ready for next season, which we do have a start date for next season. We just don't know when it is yet. I don't think anyone knows when it is, but there is a start date for next season.
There's a start date.
There is a start date.
It depends on when the DCL. It depends on when the DCL comes out and if the DCL breaks within the first week. What DCL? Are we even going to get one this year?
DCL.
DLC.
It's not the worst thing I've heard this week. I'm kidding. Well, you heard it here, folks.
We're gonna. Spain Star.
Yep. And how you said that they're practically the same track. I wasn't even going to bring it up, but you brought this one upon yourself. As now we're going to see if M. John can try to bring himself back up into the top 5, trying to chase down Fish Slips here for position. And Slipstream DRS, easy enough. And very nicely done there for the V-Carb. So, just to look at some positional changes here. It is going to be RJ Gibson, who has moved up 4 positions. The drivers who have moved up most is God's Other Son and Jay-Z. They both moved up about 7 positions, respectively. Now looking at the penalties here. 16 seconds for Karma, and then it is 3 seconds for Corrupt, Limbo, Kongbus, Axed, and Cloud. So there's a penalty situation as it sits. A few drivers had drive-throughs a bit earlier on. So, and those have all been served. You have to serve those generally within about 3 laps or so, or else I forget what happens. I think, you get disqualified, actually, if you ignore it, because we saw that actually, I want to say, I remember at least seeing it. I can't remember if it was during that charity event I did a couple of days ago, or if it was a race here. I'm trying to remember. It's one of those two. But, here we go.
There was
Illyrian actually that's in the pits, but there's a three-way battle here right at the back. It is going to be Symphonic, Liam, and well, Jay-Z's backing out of that battle to come into the pits. So lap 10 out of 22 here at Spa, and while the field is mostly spread out, we're still seeing some pretty good battles here, Phoenix.
Yeah, and once again, I was going to say something earlier and I have forgotten once more. But this track is very nice for battles. They've sort of settled down for the moment after that very chaotic start. The one car didn't even make it off the start line, really, and didn't even reach the hairpin.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. There's M. John and Gibson going ahead and doing battle here, battling through the chicane. Very nicely done there. Very clean as well. It's what you love to see here. In and any track really, you love to see good clean battles with not a lot of contact. You know, no bumping, no bump drafting, no demolition derby. You love to see good stuff. I mean, I know we've had some pretty chaotic rounds in recent times, like Azerbaijan in particular, and the Red Bull Ring, which, to be fair, the Red Bull Ring does encourage aggression almost. You pretty much, if you want to make a lot of serious moves there, you almost have to drive like a bull in a china shop to make your way on through that track, especially if you have a bit of a rough go at things at the launch. But at the same time, I mean, the last two tracks, well, actually, last track and this track are such good battling tracks. Monaco, on the other hand, not so much. Silverstone will be a fun one for battling. Zandvoort's going to be a tricky one because that track is a straight up roller coaster.
Yeah, just within the elevation and the bankments coming into that final corner as well, the track is not flat. One of the more bumpy tracks, in a sense, that we have on the F1 calendar.
Yeah, it's probably got some of the most elevation changes on, if not the most elevation changes on any circuit. As we continue to zip around here, Liam trying to chase down Symphonic. Yellow flag, I think that's for God's Other Son. I think that's the McLaren. Sliding around a bit, turning his Formula One car to a bit of a Formula Drift machine as he continues to try to stay away from Hoffy. Hoffy is closing in a little bit of ground here, as from one Aston Martin to the other, Corrupt is still trying to catch up to Jay-Z for a spot within the top 10. The gap will be getting close, but what else is getting close is the gap between Goats for Life and Crutter. Is Crutter trying to close in the gap? Do you think anyone has ever said Crutter's name like brother, like in the whole like a Hulk Hogan accent? Crutter. I don't know. That just popped in my brain. That is reserve program thoughts at it is about 6:20 a.m. here in South Florida. Speaking
10 to 8 p.m. in Adelaide.
a bit more normal time compared to the South Florida time zone shenanigans. There is actually a really good battle happening here between Crutter and Goats for Life. They're both really just having a good, solid go out of here. And now you're pretty much in a spot that almost acts like a DRS zone, but it's really not. You can just get some really nice slipstream here where it feels like this. I don't know why. Every time I've raced on this track, it feels like this area just ignores the laws of dirty air, and you can just follow so nice coming through pretty much the entirety of Sector 3 on the track. I think Sector 3 is probably my favorite on the track, really. I mean, Sector 1 is also really fun. I mean, going through Radeon at full speed is just so much fun in these cars. Curious to see how the 2026 spec of machinery will do around here. I think it's around June or August, I want to say, that this race takes place. I had to look back at the calendar, but here we go. Looking one way, looking at another. And it is going to be Crutter trying to send it up the inside. He's got the speed, he's got the slipstream, and the battery to work with. and that is P12 for the Mercedes driver. He does have a penalty. He will have to try to fight and try to get past. Jumping up now to Fish Lips, just up the road ahead, trying to chase down the Ferrari of Gibson. Gibson, he's had a bit of a rough couple of weeks in recent times. He got pole position in, I want to say it was Austria. He got pole position last week in Austria, and then didn't really, it didn't really go to plan for the Ferrari driver, as he's got Fish Lips pretty much just swimming along right behind him, trying to jump back up into that P7 position here. We're on lap 13 out of 22 here at Spa. It is still Zombie ahead of Lyrian, Symphonic, Liam, and Kenworth running out your top 5. But Liam looking to make a change here as he's chasing down Symphonic for 3rd.
Yeah, and to answer your question from earlier, it's not in June or August. The Belgium Grand Prix is this year on the, for me at least, the 19th of July.
So probably about a day or two difference depending on time zones. Time zones are a fun thing. As Liam continues to make his way through, we do have yellows in sector 3. I think that's the Red Bulls, the Red Bull and the Williams, I think, coming at it. So, not sure exactly what that was, but I think Axe and Nin had a bit of a. Oh, big snap there coming out of La Source for Axe. I wonder if he's got. I wonder if it was just him putting a bit too much throttle coming out of the source, or if he just got a. If he's got rear wing damage. I think it might have just been the former, because if he had rear wing damage, he would have just spun straight through Radion.
Yeah.
Oh,
As,
Illyrian has been disconnected.
and I'm 99% sure I do have him.
Alright, so while Phoenix gets back Illyrian, Liam gets a 3-second time penalty, as Fishlips is still trying to chase down Gibson, as it is going to be Liam trying to close in the gap here, trying to close in to Symphonic in the Ferrari. We'll see what can be done here as the white Sakura themed Red Bull is trying to close in that gap, trying to chase down Symphonic here. But they've caught up to Illyrian as well, so it's going to be a 3-way fight for P2 here at side by side. What a move there from Symphonic. It looks like a little bit of touch and go contact though. But touch and go contact it is. Liam's going to get another move on to Illyrian as well. The driver is still, unfortunately, not back in the session yet, as he is going to continue to speed on through here. Kenworth now joining the equation, as Kenworth is going to just go ahead and try to get a good slipstream here. Just going to send it around to the outside. That'll be P4 now for the Williams, as they continue to scrap it out. But Zombie is now 8 seconds up the road, just as Illyrian is now back into the session. So he'll be wanting to try to make some kind of recovery drive, as Limbo gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Lap 15 out of 22 here, Phoenix. Things have really settled down to this. Never mind. That's a safety car.
Well, what the heck? I was just having a cheeky gander at Race Director and seeing a lot of track limit warnings, and is that just a VSC? Oh no, it's a safety car. There were cars on top of the yellow dot. So who binned it? Oh, is this another? And RJ Gibson has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. But is this another safety car we see without a driver DNFing? That's the second
Yes.
time I think within a week I've seen that.
So what happened is that Axe straight lined the wall because his game froze. That's
Oop.
that's fun. So a tech issue led to him straight lining a wall. He is still racing, but with the
Oh,
absence
and
of a
Flish Flicks gets a drive-through penalty as well. So I think that's 2 drive-through penalties now under the safety car. Oh,
and also Act is he needs some Red Bull in his system because Red Bull gives you wings and he doesn't have any front wings. And that's another one. In the words of DJ Khaled, another drive-through penalty
oh.
for speeding under the safety car. What are
I
we
think that's like the.
witnessing? Another
Oh! What is going on?
one?
I think some drivers have multiple drive-through penalties now. What is
I
happening?
I wonder if Fish Lips has been
Don't
disqualified.
tell me. Oh! Don't
Uh,
tell me Spa's gonna bug out on us
it might.
again.
Oh,
Oh no.
we
Oh,
might see another try getting the Canada treatment.
oh, not again. And the safety car hasn't even caught the leader yet as well. It's just sitting there waiting for the leader to catch up, which is I think Zombie needs to catch up to the leader. And there we go. Oh,
Or what? Okay, he actually shot
uh,
past the safety car.
now he's stopped and I let the safety car overtake, I think. What in the safety car is this track? He is now behind the safety car. I'm just imagining Axe getting literally chased by the safety car right now.
This has been a Spa Francorchamps spa day of all time. I could say that for certain. As it is up 16 out of 22. Let's go to take a look at the tires for you guys. As there's been so many drive-through penalties now, just kind of thrown out with quite a few drivers getting multiple drive-throughs. I'm actually starting to really wonder if we are going to get the Canada treatment for Belgium, which that would be rough considering that it's 100% Grand Prix this week, and we're having to switch the track on the fly. I can imagine it was pretty rough last week for some of the drivers, particularly Div 1, because they really only had like a day or so to adjust to the fact that they weren't doing Canada anymore, they were doing Austria. I wonder if it's going to be the same thing here with Belgium. But what track would we actually replace it with is the question.
I don't know. I feel like we've been to quite a fair few tracks this season. And also, it was speeding under the safety car, so it could just be a Delta issue. But, yeah, so it seemed like speeding under the safety car I think speeding under the safety car normally gives you a drive-through penalty anyway.
Yeah, same with, I think speeding under VSC, I think is the same thing.
I think that gives you, I will check, because we've had that penalty, that before.
Because we had a VSC at the beginning.
Speeding under a VSC is also a drive-through penalty. Just double-checked that with mighty old race director.
So, I say...
Safety car! Again!
I say...
What do you say?
If we do have to get this track swapped out, I say we do 100% Austria reversed. 100% at the Red Bull Ring, just on the reverse layout. I say that's my pick.
I say SJ will shut that idea down faster than you can open a can of Red Bull.
I will metaphorically get on my hands and knees and beg for Austria reversed 100% if we do swap the track.
It's not going to happen.
It's not.
Miami won't even happen.
Okay, ouch. First of all, that is my home track. That is just being absolutely slandered.
You have 3 home tracks. Stop complaining.
Miami is my literal home track. I live like an hour from the circuit. jokes aside, I think if it were to actually get replaced, it's not going to be any of the reverse layouts. I can already kind of guarantee that one. As much as it breaks my heart,
Yeah.
um, I think Coda probably is the Circuit of the Americas is actually probably going to be one of the more likely options of the bunch. Because with how big the rush counter is, there's not really a lot of tracks that we haven't been to yet. I think some of the only options really would be tracks that have already been competitively vetoed, like Miami, like Canada, and like pretty much every single reverse layout. So I think Coda is really the only other option, realistically. I mean, there's probably other tracks that you could maybe throw in there, but I think Coda is probably the one with the best bet. I'm just gonna have to look and see. Gonna actually remind myself of all the fantastic circuits we have been in. So,
Sorry about. I think my Discord did something weird, and I heard none of what you just said. But I'm
we love Discord.
back now. Discord this week has been very chaotic from doing. Well, I'm not quite sure. Does back-to-back comms count if they're within on the same day, but
Yes.
spread vastly out? Like, so like 18 hours still counts as back-to-back comms.
Okay, in that
Quite an
case,
18 hours.
no.
Okay. Oh, so doing comms at 3 a.m. followed by doing comms at 7 p.m. isn't back-to-back?
Not particularly. Usually, if it's like within an hour or so. But let us know. Back to the track topic. If Belgium does get swapped out, let us know what track you would like to see jump in if Belgium does get replaced. I don't know if it will because it's tough. I mean, it's so late in the season that you're almost out of track options, really. So, Kodo is probably going to be the most likely option. The Circuit of the Americas, as much as I would love it for it to be Miami, I think Miami's got even more issues than this track or Canada, yeah. So, I would have said Singapore, but we've already been to Singapore. The unfortunate thing is that like a lot of the really amazing tracks are tracks we've already been to. We started at Monza, we went to Bahrain, we went to Suzuka, and then we had a first 100%er at Australia at the Albert Park circuit. Then we went to Singapore, Las Vegas, Shanghai, Jeddah, Hungary, which was our second 100% race of the season. And then Qatar, Mexico, Italy, and Azerbaijan. I mean, I guess Abu Dhabi. We could do Abu Dhabi. That hasn't been done yet this season. It's not on the calendar coming up,
Yeah.
so.
And in my experience, even just in a 35% race I did on Tuesday, it has so many battling. Like, I couldn't even finish my can of Red Bull. There was so much action on the track.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
And the safety car is in this lap.
Oh, finally. I thought we were going to finish on the safety car conditions at this rate.
Oh! I didn't realise we're on lap 18. I kind of stopped looking at that, so we'll only have a couple of laps of racing left.
Yeah, there's about 5 laps left, roughly. It'll be 4 once we cross the line. I mean, but realistically, just considering how long Spa is, it's probably closer to about like 7 laps or so, realistically, just comparatively to other circuits on the calendar. But yeah, I think really the only 2 candidates that could replace this track would be Abu Dhabi or Coda. But we're not going to worry about that right now. That's a problem for later. Right now, we are back racing here. The Spa day will continue as M. John is trying to make a good recovery drive here. Driver started on pole position, got slammed with a drive-through very early on, and now he is up into P3 as he's going to go ahead and try to chase down Symphonic and Zombie, who are just up the road ahead. And Kenworth going to try to close in here in that an livery I didn't actually like a lot when it first came out, but a livery that is since grown on me quite a bit. This Rovo Williams livery that was used in Las Vegas for 2025, making his way through with Liam just tucked in right behind. as Illyrian is going to try to close in the gap as well. Still trying to fight back from getting disconnected a bit earlier on. Few drivers on the soft tire compound. It is going to be the Governor, Corrupt, and RJ Gibson all on that soft tire compound. Going to try to make up some late ground or maybe just try to get a fastest lap here. Trying to get some extra data that they can use throughout the week because it'll likely be a two-stop when we come to Belgium for the actual races later on for the 100% races. Because Belgium is usually a two-stop at 100%. Usually medium, two sets of mediums and a hard is usually the game plan for the circuit. So, although George Russell did do a pretty good one stop in 2024, unfortunately his car was just underweight, so he got disqualified, giving Lewis Hamilton, I think, his last win in a Mercedes. As M. John tries to close in the gap here, coming through Air Rouge. But now 3 laps to go, Phoenix. Who's going to win this one?
Anyone could win. I mean, Zombie had a very nice lead, but that safety car kind of brought everyone back in. As Symphonic and Mirren are going side to side down the straight, and Mirren sliding in front of Symphonic going into corner 5. But back anyone, because Zombie hasn't got much space, so I think it could be a battle all the way till the very end for the podium positions.
I think Zombie's got it personally, but here's the thing. I think Zombie's got it, but it's not going to be easy for him. I do not think it is going to be easy for him by any stretch of the imagination because, I mean, M. John's been pretty quick all day. Symphonic been pretty quick all day as well. They're both within DRS range. M. John's got the better tire to be on at this stage. He's got the medium tires, same tire age as Zombie and Symphonic's hard tires. But I think Zombie has just been extremely consistent here tonight. However, M. John, though, looking like he's got the potential. But, oh, here's something worth noting. They both got full battery, so they're going to definitely try to duke it out. Phoenix, I'm going to let you take the penultimate lap here that we are just about to start, and I'll take the last lap. Over to you.
Yeah, as a bunch of penalties have come through, and now Zombie has seemingly pulled away slightly from Minoy, and then Symphonic is slightly dropping back. So that battle was looking really tight, but now is sort of going away slightly. Going through the field, you do have Liam will be pushing like a madman, trying to catch up to Kenworth, who is currently in P5, and as this Hoffy picks up another 3-second time penalty. So at this point, I think about half the field does have those time penalties, as Minoy was catching up to Zombie quite a lot, coming through now Sector 2. I think Minoy might have a chance to fight with Zombie for P1, but I think Symphonic may be out of that P1 fight at this stage. As we do have Chazzy slightly closing the gap, but then you do have God's Father Sons, who has just made the move on Chungbus, who dropped like a stone. He could have gone, I think, a bit wide. But then, never mind. Symphonic could be back in it, very, very close to the back of Minoy, who was very close to the back of Zombie. So this battle is nowhere near done, as they are now coming through that final chicane. Over to you.
Alrighty here, ladies and gentlemen. We have been through shenanigans. We have seen things beyond human comprehension, but at the end, our spa day, it's at its climax here, as it is going to be Symphonic, M. John, and Zombie all battling it out for that P1 position. It's anyone's game now. Kenworth also within a shout. Illyrian right there as well, so 5 cars could theoretically take the victory here as we are on the 22nd lap Illyria now trying to look one way, trying to look another. He'll get past the Williams of Kenworth as M. John is going to go ahead and try to close in the gap here. He's going to do whatever he can to try to win this one out. Symphonic still just trying to be an ever-present threat in the mirrors of the V-Carb. V-Carb's had a strong week here in recent times, and it looks like that trend is going to somewhat continue as it is practically now a four-way fight for the race win here. M. John probably has the best chance of pulling off the retake compared to anyone else on the field. He's on the best tires at this stage. Actually, Illyrian is on the best tires, but he's got a Symphonic ahead that he would have to clear. They're making their way coming into Sector 3. This is really the last dance. It's really the last shot here. Are we going to see Zombie take the win here? Is it going to be M. John? What I can tell you is these two are really going to chase each other to the line. It's all going to depend on who can get that bus stop chicane nice and easy. Is it going to... It looks like it is going to be Zombie making their way through the final corner now. It's going to be a drag race to line. But Zombie is going to win the Belgian Reserve Program race out of M. John and Symphonic rounding out the field.
Ooh.
Lots of track limit penalties coming here at the end as cars do get a little bit squirrely in celebration.
And some end plates go flying. As we have a DNF.
And it's M.
I'm
John,
not quite
yeah.
sure where. Majority did they bend it after the line?
Yes.
And I think that DNF will stand. So Symphonic now jumps to P2. As at the line, I saw a lot of end plates and I think a wing go flying. So a very chaotic start and a very chaotic finish here at Brutal Honest. I almost said Spain, but we're at Spa.
I don't know. I think he crossed the line then crashed. So I think his position would actually stand here. But on the podium, it is going to be Illyrian jumping up into that P3. But it looked like he crashed actually after the fact. But we'll let the stewards take their verdict on that one. We are going to talk with Zombie, though. It is our sole interview of the reserve program. As we go through our superlatives here, it is going to be Illyrian with the fastest lap. Driver of the day is Axed. Most overtakes goes to Corrupt, and Kenworth is the cleanest driver. Just going in and running through our results here, it is Zombie ahead of Symphonic, and then M. John did come across the line to P2, but he did have that DNF, which dropped him down the order. So Illyrian will inherit that P3 position, followed by Kenworth, Liam de Rienberg, the Governor, Coach for Life, Jay-Z, Corrupt, and Crutter, followed by Axed, Kungbus, Hoffy, Godzilla Sun, Cloud, RJ Gibson, Limbo, and then the retirements of M. John, Ninviem, and Fish Lips rounding out our field here. So we're going to go ahead and kick off our sole interview on the reserve program. We're going to go ahead and talk to the race winner of Zombie. So, Zombie, chaotic race here at Belgium. Do you think this will kind of set the tone for the rest of the week?
I'm not 100% sure at the moment. A lot of people have pace differences here. I did see some people in the 45s, as me and MJ were in the 41s, low 41s, but I mean, I was going up against a Div 1 driver. I was expecting him to be fast. So, but you got that drive through at the start, which kind of gave me a bit of an advantage. I think that safety car brought him back in as well. But yeah, I just you never know what could happen. I know there was a lot of fast times in Div 2, so we'll have to wait for that.
Yeah, there's also like at one stage during the safety car, I think like 5 or 6 people I think got drive-throughs. Some people got multiple drive-throughs under the same safety car, so bit of a chaotic one here. Now, after this reserve program race, what do you think your odds are of kind of repeating this in your race later on this week?
I don't want to say yes. It's 100%. Look, I'm going up against Lamb and Toast, so Like, they're definitely not slow. I think going up against a Div 1 Java today was a bit of a reference, but obviously yeah, I still got to go up against Lamb Toast because who knows what they'll bring for the 100%. Obviously, I think the 100% races I've done this season both have been very poor due to just poor driving from myself. But yeah, I'm looking for a 3P, but I can't guarantee anything in a 100% race.
All right. Well, congratulations on the reserve program race win, and I'll pass you over to Phoenix if they have any other questions or comments.
Thank you, Ruckus.
I do not, but it looked like you had a very nice race.
Yeah, well, they just start to finish, so that's all I needed to do. So.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win, and best of luck to you this week in your Div 2 race.
Yep. Thank you, Ruckus. Thank you, guys.
All right, everybody. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up the reserve program here for Rush Racing League round number 15 coming at you. So it's been a fun one here. It's been a chaotic race here. I will say that. I think there will definitely be some talks about the safety car, considering how many people got drive-throughs almost immediately from both the VSC and the safety car itself. Not sure if it's an actual issue on the track or if it's just reserve program shenanigans. But before we go, Phoenix, any final thoughts?
We had a chaotic start, a mundane middle, and a chaotic end. I'm not quite sure what the 100% race or will bring, but as we've seen, everything can turn at the flip of a switch. Everyone can be nicely spread out, and then suddenly someone's binned it into a wall.
All right, so that's going to be it here for the reserve program race here at Spa Francorchamps. Get ready for 5 rounds of just pure chaos and endurance as we get ready for the final endurance round of the season here. A massive thank you to our partners of Sim Racing Center, SimLab, and Packing In Advanced Simulation. And then, of course, obviously, thank you guys in the Twitch chat for being as awesome as always and sticking with us all season long. And on behalf of Phoenix, my name has been Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, and we have been your hosts and commentators for tonight's action. Stay tuned throughout the week. We come back on Saturday to kick off Div 1 here at Belgium. Stay hydrated and have a good night. Goodbye.